What's up, Heritage? It's Brandon, and
And Juliana.
we're back with another movie review.
Movie
And
review.
this time around, we are reviewing The Breakfast Club for you guys. And let's get right into it. So, Juliana, what did you think of the movie?
I thought it was good. I thought that I like how they brought like two. Well, if you don't know what it's about like five teens in detention, basically. And I like how they brought like teenagers from different like cliques. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, they're totally different. And it
it's
kind of plays on the stereotypical,
yeah,
jock.
yeah. You can see the factions of teens in it, and one of the things I love about the movie is that even though it's like super '80s, is that you can kind of like see that in modern, like all the clicks and stuff. You can just kind of
Yes.
see it still. But
But I like how they did that. I like how it was like different groups being represented.
yeah, and I like it was everyone was different enough, but similar enough, so they kind of all, and it was, and I think another thing too, like I don't know if you noticed, but it's like when the movie starts, it starts like it does not slow down. Like there's no like they don't introduce a character. Like it's just like we get right into this. Like we don't get a
Yeah.
backstory. Like we don't find
Yeah.
out why they're in detention till like almost the end of the movie.
If they did that, if it was like made now, it wouldn't be as I don't know. I feel like it would be more like long and kind of like not boring, but just strung out if they
Yeah,
did that.
kind of too much. It's
Yeah.
but I like the like aesthetic and the color choices in this movie, and the high school looks really cool. I don't know. It's really and it's pretty funny too. Like I forgot how
Yeah.
funny it was because I haven't seen it
I
in a
like
long time.
the scene where they're dancing. And I like how I thought it was really funny that they were like, smoking in detention.
This guy is supposed to be right around the corner, and they're like playing music and dancing and doing all this stuff and like screaming, and he just doesn't say anything. Like
That's
what?
why I thought it was like funny. I was like, oh, I would never do that if I was in detention, but it just works for this movie.
It's weird. So much like is just going into the characters and their motivations and why they're there, and even like the teacher and then the janitor, like they have their own like little separate scene, and I thought that was pretty cool. Do you have a
Yeah,
favorite character of the movie?
I liked the kind of like the nerdy guy. His name is Brian,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Brian. I like Brian.
yeah. I like Brian too, but I don't know. I think my favorite has to be John Bender. Yeah. I like John. I like how he's kind of like his character I think changes the most. Like he's very like,
Yeah,
he's like making fun of everyone and like rebellious and he acts out and does all this stuff, but like at the same time like he saves them when they're about to get caught because he goes in like the basketball court and then like the like at the end too. I think I don't know, he just changes a lot and I
like
like it.
character development
Yeah,
goes.
I feel like he got the most. Like I don't know. And I felt like there was more layers to him, like that they were slowly revealing throughout like the movie. And I don't know. I think in the end he's really changed, but it was really cool to see it happen. And I think my favorite scene is like at the end where like they're like kind of huddled together, like sitting down. My favorite part is like when Brian asks like, "Oh, are we all going to be friends on Monday?" And they all have
Yeah,
kind of different responses. It's just like interesting to see that because like usually a movie would like gloss over the fact or like like I just keep thinking if it was made now, like they would be friends on Monday or whatever, but like we would see that. Like we don't need to see that, but it's interesting that they're asking the question. But
because like you see, like you like saw their like friendships develop throughout
yeah,
the film, and now you're like more interested in like find out what happens.
I don't know. I thought that whole scene was great. Like all
Yes.
the emotional arguing was really good. That's what I don't know. I just really like it. And I think we get just another banger like soundtrack for this movie, like opening and closing the songs, just an absolute '80s
It
classic.
was really good. Like
I
we said
mean,
for Back to the Future, it was just a really good soundtrack.
yeah, it's like I don't know, just I don't know what we're just on an 80s kick, just watching all these 80s movies, I swear, but it's just like
But
I
I'm
don't know.
pretty sure like a lot of people have seen these movies though.
I would hope so. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
not as much as the like Back to the Future, but I mean, I'd hope people had seen The Breakfast Club. If you
At least
haven't,
like they've heard of it. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Oh yeah, I think people have heard The Breakfast Club. I think
Yeah.
people probably I don't know if you remember, they had that episode of Victorious where they like spoofed this, like it was a spoof of The Breakfast Club. You don't? Did you ever watch Victorious
I
on
watched
Nickelodeon?
Victorious, but I only watched it when it was like on TV.
You
Like I
but,
wasn't a hardcore fan.
but you never saw the episode where they literally did like a Breakfast Club episode? It was like the exact same thing. What? Okay, this is gonna be on screen right now. It's literally, I think most people remember that. Like when I put this on screen, most people will be like, "Oh yeah!" Like I feel like most people recognize that in this movie.
More
But
than this
yeah,
movie.
no, but I mean that just goes to show you like how ingrained in like pop culture it is. I mean, the song "Don't You Forget About Me"
Great
um,
song.
is just ingrained in pop culture. Just these like phrases and just like the characters themselves. I think this is why this is such a timeless movie. Is like even though this is in the 80s and there's like absolutely no inkling of like modern technology or anything. It's like the high school is completely different than any high school that I've ever seen. Like uh, the music obviously is 80s like music. You wouldn't find these kind of tracks in a modern song. Like just the way it looks, the way they dress, but it's just like the way it stands the test of time is just because I think it's the characters. Like they're so relatable. Like the clicks are still now as relevant as they were like 30 years ago.
Yeah, I feel like people can relate to each character depending on who they are. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I definitely think people can see themselves as a character or I don't know, even see them like but that was the cool part too is that the characters see themselves like, oh, I relate to you and you relate to me and that person, but like I feel like the audience does that too. I feel like this is
Yeah.
like a very much a character driven like
Movie.
yeah, it's like it's a weird it balances that line of like comedy and drama and like emotion very well.
So it has a
Like
lot of feelings.
yeah,
Each of
it's a
them,
very emotional movie.
yeah. And like you see them like kind of like open up to each other and like not finally be themselves around each other, but it's just like nice to see. I
Yeah.
don't know. I really like that part of the movie.
I don't know, it's got a really positive message.
I like this movie. I thought this is a good choice.
I know. I was pleasant. I was really excited to watch it again because it had been so long, and it's just I don't know.
Another 80s classic.
Yeah, another '80s classic. We're gonna have to switch it up. We're gonna have to.
Yeah, we probably will.
We need to change it up. But no, I did. I definitely think. I don't know. I think it's a great movie. I think it's got comedy.
What would you rate this movie?
See, this is like a tricky one because like I really like because we like set the bar with the Back to the Future one because we're like that's almost a 10, like that's almost phenomenal. But it's like, is this movie better than Back to the Future? Would it be a 10? Is it the same? Like I don't
I
know.
don't know. I would say, I don't know.
I mean, but then again, like there's not as much action and adventure in this movie, but that's not what you're signing up for. That's not what you sit down
Yeah,
to watch this movie for.
they're like two completely different genres.
Yeah.
So
I think
it's
that
different for everyone depending on what they like.
that's what I'm saying is like if you're like, oh, I don't want to watch an emotional drama, I mean then obviously this isn't for you, but if you do, this is one of the best, if not the best, like high school drama, like
Thing that you could relate to
yeah,
as teen-
exactly. Like it's just weird. I don't know how I would rate this. Hmm.
I don't know either. I would Do I want to give it the same rating as Back to the Future or better? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if like I was like, oh, should I give it worse? Because I mean, I can't. But I would like now rewatching this. I'm like, I could watch this over Back to the Future, or vice versa, or like both. Watch like it's like they're both like I would both put them in and watch them for my own enjoyment. Like they have me like glued to the screen. Like I don't know. I just don't know. I think we might have to give it the same rating, to be honest.
I agree. Like I think I'm gonna go with the same thing too.
Yeah. I think it's all right. Final verdict, 9.5 out of 10. Again, 9.5 out of 10. All right, Heritage. I think that's going to wrap it up. And if you want to watch The Breakfast Club, it's on DVD, Blu-ray. It's on Hulu. And you should really check it out. It's a great movie. And yeah. But before we go, we have a Christmas movie announcement. So, yeah. So we'll let Ben and Stuber tell you about that.
We accept the fact that we had to sacrifice a whole Saturday in detention for whatever it was we did wrong. But we think you're crazy to make us write an essay telling you who we think we are. And you see us as you want to see us. In the simplest terms, with the most convenient definitions. But what we found out is that each one of us is a brain
And an athlete.
And a basket case.
A princess.
And a criminal.
Does that answer your question? Sincerely yours, The Breakfast Club.